believe me, I know it's been long, but thank you for sticking with us. This is the last one. It might be a little bit of a repeat from some of our expectations, but stick with us. We want to just crank this out here. So our last video, modeling the behavior we expect. All right. You guys are leaders. It's in your job title. And guess what? People look at leaders. Kids looking at leaders. Other leaders are looking at other leaders. You are always under a microscope. And that might not sound pleasant, but that's what you signed up for. When you sign up to be a leader, that's what you sign up for. And so when you walk into this space, you need to always have that mindset on that people are watching you. Students are watching what you do and what you say. And so you have to always be modeling behavior that you expect from students. Because if you're modeling a different behavior, but then you expect students to model something else, that's a little hypocritical. It's not going to translate well. They're not going to trust you if you're saying one thing but doing another thing. That's just human nature.
Silent Trumpets.
Right? Yeah, Silent Trumpet series. If you haven't been here for it, rewatch it. Don't be a hypocrite. Jesus said it, not me. So, But so this last section, modeling the behavior we expect. So first, model the behavior that we expect in the activity center. That's the first thing that you walk into on a Wednesday night. Make sure that you're with your kids. Do not be stuck. I know it's tempting because our leaders are awesome. All you guys are awesome. And so it's fun to talk to like each other, but do not get sucked into what I like to call leader huddles. You walk in, you check in at the leader kiosk, and then you find yourself 15 minutes later still talking to a bunch of leaders. I know that other leaders are awesome, but you're supposed to be here to be student focused.
Yeah.
That's
not engaging at all. Yeah. When students walk in and they see a group of adults hanging out, they're like, why are they here?
Yeah. It's actually, it's not welcoming. It's just not. So make sure that it's okay to say like, hey Tucker, how was your week?
No, what's up? Yeah. All right, I gotta go be student focused.
Yeah, that's great, man. Catch up later. And you guys can catch up after youth group is done. After we're done being student focused, the kids have left the auditorium, they've left the activity center. Go hang out with Tucker. He's great. That's awesome.
I am great.
You can hang out with me too. but not before. When we walk in these doors at 6:15 until the students leave between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, it is our job to be student focused. And so we need you to model that behavior, not only for your students, but also for other leaders. So make sure you're doing that. Next, be student focused and make sure that you're modeling the behavior that we expect in the auditorium. A huge part of this is worship. We have really been working on our worship culture. We've brought Christian Brinkley on to really have a mindset of worship culture. And our worship culture suffers when our small group leaders are not engaging in worship.
Wow.
Okay. We need you guys to be in the thick of it, is what we like to say, which means that as a leader, you are not sitting on the outskirts of the auditorium. You're not in the back. You're not like even with your significant other. You are with your students in the crowd, and it might be uncomfortable and sweaty and stinky, but you signed up to work with middle school, high school students, so that's what you get.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I just thought about? I thought about like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And like the thick of it, like the thick jelly or the thick peanut butter. Like, don't be the bread. Like be a part of that jelly and jam and just mash in and gel and jam.
Yeah.
During worship.
In worship for Jesus.
Wow.
Right?
It's like I just thought of that or something.
He's a genius sometimes. Just trying to keep it humble. All right, so we need you guys, when we walk through those auditorium doors, we need you to be with your students. We need you to be worshiping alongside them, and maybe they're not fully engaged, but they will be looking at you to see how you engage in worship. And it's your job to model for them what it looks like to engage in worship. And I know that it might not be your norm to raise your hands like on the different kind of hand raises. There's different levels, different kinds, but we need you to truly engage. It's not just like standing with a blank face and like staring at the screen and saying, oh, well, this is how I worship. This is how I get in the thick of it. I think that's a lie. I'm going to throw some conviction out there and say that's a lie. The Bible, when we see people worshiping, people are falling on their faces before the Lord. They're dancing. They're just like worship of the Lord has a physical response. And so if you're not truly engaging in worship, that's why you're not having a physical response. So leaders, I need you to fully engage in worship. I need you to respond. That's going to help us build a worship culture. That's going to show our students what it looks like to worship musically when we engage with the Lord. So get in the thick of it with that. We need you to be modeling the behavior we expect in the message time. That means that you're not on your phone checking emails during the message. That means that you're not chit-chatting with your significant other. You're not causing a distraction. We want to see you fully engaged in the message. And we know it might have been a long day at work. We know that your kids might have been crazy all day and you've been tired, but please try your best. Take notes, model for your students what it looks like to be attentive and pay attention. We really need you to do that. Model the behavior we expect during game times. Not all games we need leaders, or can leaders participate in all of the games, but in the times when leaders can participate in the games that we do it. Okay. The very last point I need to make is this. Everyone take a deep breath. In previous years, we've had a culture of leaders running out frantically during the last song in the auditorium because they realized they forgot their small group folders.
Oof.
Oofta is what we say up north.
Oofta.
Oofta.
Midwest.
Don't do that. Please grab your folders before you head into the auditorium, because we have such a culture right now of students who, as soon as it hits that last worship song, they get up and they run to the bathroom. I think a part of that is because we had such a culture for such a long time of small group leaders getting up as soon as the last song started and running out to the activity center to grab their folders. We want to kill that. We want students to stay in that auditorium until we are done, until we dismiss to small groups, and then during that transition, they can go to the bathrooms or do whatever they need to do. Go to the bathrooms is the only thing that they would need to do. Okay. So make sure you grab your folders. Make sure you grab the correct folders. Okay. White is girls. The grayish blue is for the dudes, and the stickers labeling 7th grade boys, 7th grade girls, whatever it is in the corner of each folder. Make sure you grab the correct folder. Otherwise, you mess everyone else up. And make sure while you're in your small groups, you are taking attendance. It's important because that's how we see which students are missing. And really, it's for you to be able to say, oh, Samantha hasn't been here in 4 weeks. I should reach out to Samantha.
Always Samantha.
Always Samantha. So that's really important. Make sure you model behavior of not leaving the auditorium. And guys, that's all we have for you. Make sure you guys continue to remember our mission statement that we are here to empower the next generation to develop an authentic relationship with Jesus. And that is a cut.
End scene.